Hey there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/IDontworkherelady, where people assume somebody has to work there because they're so obviously beneath them in the social hierarchy. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hit that notification bell. Now without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Earbuds. I made the mistake of seeing some things out of place at a Target and setting them straight while I was shopping, all while I was wearing my Barbie pink logo embroidered work blouse when I had someone start tapping me on the shoulder, mad at me for something. I'm hard of hearing and I've taken my aids out for a hearing break after a very long day, but I put them back in. It turns out she was mad I ignored her. See above reason. And then got super mad I put earbuds in. For the record, my aids look nothing like earbuds. And I guess assumed I was putting them in to listen to music and further ignore her and be rude about it. Anyway, insert rant about bad stuff no one wants to do with their jobs, no respect. My tidying is staff restocking in her mind. I let her run out of steam, then ask if there's something I can do to help her with, since I haven't seen a Target employee walk past the whole time. Smart move on their part. They could probably hear her several aisles over, and were keeping clear of the area. And I am a naturally helpful person, even if she was barking metaphorically and literally up the wrong tree. It might be something another customer could do, something off a shelf, fetching a cart, and so on. Turns out she was after something out of stock on the shelves. We went and double-checked, and wanted me to check in the back. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. That would be trespassing. Pointing at shirt logo, it's not Target, like the pink shirt wasn't a clue. I didn't hang around to find out how her towel search went. I had places to be, and I was ready to be done hearing for the day. The hospital vending machine. After doing 6 weeks of no weight bearing following a knee surgery that wasn't wholly expected, I was finally crutching my way through the hospital to check in for my appointment, where I'd be given my legs back. However, my fiancé had to work, so I drove myself, and I had to park in the regular parking lot. After getting up to the hospital entrance and heading towards the clinic where I was to check in, I heard her yelling at the vending machine. Apparently this vending machine, like 75% of the ones in this city, took her money and didn't give her her drink. So the appropriate course of action? To start yelling about it, of course, and screaming that the hospital owed her $3. Somehow, I was caught in the middle of this with the poor nurse who happened to be walking past. One of us owed her $3 for her drink. Otherwise, she was going to sue the hospital. The nurse, clearly with somewhere more important to be, looked upon me apologetically and went on his way. I, on my crutches, was hobbling at about a quarter of his pace, and I was now the target of her ire, as some form of representation for the hospital, despite wearing cargo shorts, an oversized Hawaiian shirt, and being drenched in sweat and panting heavily. She began to follow me, still yelling about her Pepsi, until I got to the clinic and sat down facing away from her. With the rest of the patients staring at her, she finally left me alone. No, ma'am, I cannot get your $3 back. Most of the time, those machines aren't operated by the location. They're owned, stocked, and emptied of cash by a third-party company. It takes the whole problem out of the hospital's facilities team. Screaming at the staff just gets you security attention and a removal from the hospital grounds, you know. I was told not to wear red at Target. I was walking around a shopping center at Target today, wearing leggings with a tank top and burgundy sweater. A man walked up to me and asked me where something was. If I had known, I would have helped him find what he needed. But my Target just did a whole store remodel. I told him I don't work here, but that the item was probably over in that section. He said that I had to be an employee because I had a red car to get on. I just gestured at my shopping cart and told him I'm not an employee, but that the electronics department was right there if he needed help. He told me I shouldn't wear red clothes if you don't work at Target. When I went to check out, I was scanning my stuff and heard some commotion to the left of me, where I had to go get Starbucks. It was the man who, upon spotting me, began pointing at me while complaining about me to some poor shift lead. Needless to say, I skipped getting a coffee on my way out. So in short, don't wear any red clothing items to Target unless you're an employee, I guess. Apparently wearing scrubs means I work at Walmart. I'm a teenager, and for some reason, people always ask me questions at retail stores, like I'm an employee. I don't have a clue why. Anyway, I currently work as a cashier at a pharmacy, and wear scrubs to work. On the way home from work, I stopped at Walmart to grab a few things. As I was looking through the clothing clearance aisle, I was stopped by a man asking a question about where something was. I told him I don't work here, and he apologized and went away. But honestly, I'm so confused because I'm wearing all black scrubs. I was not even organizing or picking up products or walking with a sense of duty. I'm not sure how that screams retail worker, but to each their own, I guess. Young man, if you don't take that, I shall become difficult. I went to the grocery store today for some essentials, and tragically, they were all healthy picks. Eggs, yogurt, spinach, so on. I managed to make it in and out of the store without any unfortunate run-ins with other people. And while I was walking to my car, I heard an older lady trying to get the attention of a cart wrangler in the parking lot. She was a little ways closer to the store than where I was parked in the same row. She was being ignored by a car jockey with a full carriage of groceries and an open trunk of her car. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what she wanted. So I walked over, made sure the goal was to get stuff out of the carriage into the SUV, and did it. Took me about 2 minutes. The whole time the lady was thanking me profusely, calling me a nice young man. I'm old enough now that it was flattering rather than condescending. Mid to late 30s, don't rub it in. When all was said and done, I made sure the trunk could close without smushing anything, and I grabbed my own groceries, and the lady grabbed my arm to stop me. She was an older white lady, the kind where she doesn't look particularly frail, and if she wasn't white and wearing sandals, I'd be confident she could nail an evading target at 30 yards with footwear of justice. For those confused by the footwear of justice, it's called a chancla, as it was quite clear to think that it was a good idea to stay on this woman's good side. Think matron rather than frail grandma. While I was not okay with being grabbed, she wagged something papery and green in front of me and said I was going to give it to that boy over there after he helped me, but apparently couldn't hear me. She said with an eye roll, rather than try and argue, because again, this woman was one whom I'd not idly screw around with. I took the green paper she was waving. It was a $100 bill. I was immediately like, "Nuh-uh. This yours. Take back. Too much." That sort of thing. And then she gave me a look and said, "Young man, if you don't take that, I shall become difficult." The urge to cover my ears was so strong. This wasn't because she was shouting in a shrill manner. It was because the last time I heard a woman speak to me in that tone of voice, my earlobe got pinched and I was dragged to the appropriate authority. Rather than argue, because I might have been bored at night, it just wasn't last night. I took the money. Right after she released me, I felt something heavy slam into my side, knocking me off balance, but not quite tipping me over. Once I recovered my balance and looked at what hit me, which was a full cart of groceries, I saw a woman in her 40s wearing sunglasses, staring at me from the back of my own SUV.
"Put the stuff in there. I'm in a hurry,"
says the woman. She then proceeds to start talking on the cell phone and avoiding eye contact, with every expectation of me doing her bidding. Mind you, I was in black mesh shorts and a navy blue t-shirt. Folks who work for that grocery store wear white button-downs and khaki pants or shorts. It wouldn't have been okay even if I did work at the store. I'm pretty sure shoving a loaded cart someone's way is assault or something. But the sheer audacity of this woman left me stunned for a moment. My mouth opened and closed a few times, and I was attempting to think about how I was going to handle this particular situation. Because I've obviously spent a lot of time in the gym, and the Karen, well, she didn't. If it escalated, which it probably would have, it would have been a really bad look. But as it so happens, I didn't need to do a single thing. The older lady I'd helped previously walks over to the woman trying to avoid looking at me or her groceries, finds herself with a face full of matron.
"Oh, I didn't realize you had both your hips replaced too," she said brightly.
The Karen flummoxed at seeing a non sequitur, lets her phone drop and goes, what?
"Well, that nice young man saw me being ignored by the employees and just asked for help. Such a nice thing to do with this day and age, mind you. I've had both hips replaced. My doctor would be most upset with me if he found out I was exerting myself that way. When did you get yours replaced?" "They did mine a few months back," she said brightly.
The Karen replies, I haven't had my hips replaced. I'm kind of just in a hurry now, if you wouldn't mind. And she actually just tries to turn away. The matron, sickly sweet with a smile on her face. "Oh, so there's nothing wrong with you. You just couldn't be bothered to put your own groceries in your own car? You're simply too good for that kind of thing." She was on a roll now. "And rather than ask that nice young man, you just gave your car a push and hit him with it. Just said you were in a hurry." The Karen was like, well. And yet here we are still. It's taken even longer than it would have taken if you just done it yourself, as you're perfectly capable of doing. The Karen started to puff up. "Now listen here, you little," and instantly got deflated by the old-fashioned look. Children prone to misbehavior are quite familiar with it. It's a look that quite clearly communicates, "We are in public, you are in trouble, cease, or the consequences will be in the Old Testament." Seeing it work on a grown-ass adult was a thing to behold. "Young man, please bring that carriage over. I think this nice young lady is ready to put her own groceries in her car." I pushed the carriage over and left it near the two women. "Now you run along and don't spend that all in one place," she said with a smile. I gave her the Boy Scout salute. I'm not actually a scout, don't tell anyone. Grabbed my bag and beat feet for my own vehicle. The Karen was actually still putting her bags in her car, being supervised by the old lady. I might have cackled. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the stories I had for you. If you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, or I'm going to steal your kneecaps just like I slapped mine, except yours are going to be missing. Guaranteed! Now, I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.